Welcome at the behind the scenes for Sly Cooper Thieves United. In this video I will take you with me to the process of mostly the animating and the building. So what I'm about to do here is simple. I'm going to start making a starting position for the run cycle for Sly. Now stupid me forgot to record the building and the rigging process of the van, but I did come across some mistakes during the rigging, so I'll just show that instead and how to fix it. Now the first thing I took care of is making sure that the wheels are able to move. This makes the driving animation so much more realistic. Here I was fixing the door in the back of the ride because it couldn't move, so I had to redo that and try to find a solution of why it didn't work in the first place. Now I'm just using the easy weld section from Moon Animator for this, but I think any other rigging plugin on Roblox is fine. So here I thought I fixed both of the doors on the right, but only to find out that there's only one of the two that I fixed and the other one was still stuck, so I had to do that again. I did fix the other door. I'm not going to show the entire process because that's going to make this video way longer than necessary. Now all I had to do was making sure that the driver of the van, which is going to be Murray, fits on the driver's seat. Here I'm just moving him into the right position. Now I'm just checking to see if it's the right position for him. I didn't worry about the legs. I didn't care if you could see the legs from underneath the van, because you're not gonna see the legs in the animation itself anyways. Now for the next thing I needed to do was to make the setup for the first scene. So I used a map I already used for Partners-in-Law episode 1. So I had to undo the area of all the obstacles that weren't supposed to be in this scene. I hid this cop car under the map just in case I needed it. Now fun fact, this was the setup for a picture for on DeviantArt. For the people that have seen episode 1 of Partners-in-Law, you definitely remember this scene. Importing the models I have to make sure that I can start with the animation, and I think by doing this it's all done. A recording from the process of animating scene 1. I chose not to speed the process up so you could see exactly what I'm doing. This part itself isn't much about Sly's movement, it's about the camera movements. If you keep watching you'll see what I mean. Now this was the first shot of Carmelita. I kept the bones visible so you could see the amount of bones in its movements. Now this part was all about the camera's angle to make it look right. You will see what I mean.
Now let's start talking about the dragon. So as all of you know, if you watch the movie, you know that there's a dragon in the movie. A fun fact about this is that it was my first time animating a dragon. So everything you see in the movie that I made it was a first. It was my first time of doing this. At least anything that involves a dragon.
To decide whether the cycle is good enough or not, I let the dragon move forward a bit to give my final judgment. It wasn't good enough yet, so I went back to the in and out poses and made some adjustments. A fun fact about these details is that you don't notice them when they're there, but you do notice when they're not. The more you animate, the more you grow a vision for seeing these small things. At least, that's how I experience it. And here you have the final result.
Alright, time for some building process. So for this I'm going to build the Interpol HQ.
I'm starting with adding a Carmelita Fox model into the process. Not because I want her to investigate my building, but to have a model to base the size on. You can see the purpose of her model right here. Picking a material for the walls is always something I experiment with. And boom, there we have the first set of walls for the building. The building process for the arena where the fight between Carmelita and the dragon happened. I had to work with a bunch of cover and attack options. Here's a short clip of the battle. Proceeding with the building. I made a small map for Egypt. Not much was added to it because it was simply there for 3 seconds. You can see a full version of this map in Partners-in-Law episode 3. Here I'm just turning the grass material into the sandstone material. Playing around with the colors a bit to see what fits. I'm using a different material to shape the hills. I will later on repaint this into the sandstone. I made multiple voice recordings for this line. I guess this is it. Now here are the other ones I recorded for this. I guess this is it. 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 For the editing I chose to edit the scenes separated. This felt more organized to me so that I was able to know which scene contained what without having to grab the script. Talking about the script, even though I'm not going over the entire script, I would love to address the 2 so-called extensions. I wrote this while working on the movie. These 2 parts weren't supposed to be there in the first version of the script. That's all for the behind the scenes. I hope I gave you a good view on how I make my videos and movies. And I even more hope to see you in the next one. Like and subscribe to support my content. And leave a comment on your opinion on this. Have an awesome day.